I was diagnosed in 2002. I started to lose the sensation in the bottom of my feet, which gradually crept up to my groin. I went to see a physio because I thought I'd trapped a nerve. I thought it was sciatic nerve related, and it turned out to be MS. Now, I was diagnosed at the end of my first triathlon season, and I just thought, well, do you know what? Let's keep going and see what happens. So I maintained doing 6, 7, 8 triathlons every year for 8 or 9 years until 2011. In 2011, my husband took his own life, which led to me having a massive relapse because of all of the stress and emotions and everything that I'm sure you can understand when rattling through me at that time. That led me to have a massive relapse where I was off work for, I think I was off work for a couple of months. And then I didn't ever really fully recover from that physically, and then it's just started to get slowly worse since 2011. So I'm now struggling much more with mobility, looking to get a mobility scooter through Access to Work, or to just purchase it for myself and see if that will improve things a lot. Because here at Airedale, to go from my office to the education centre where I have to go for meetings and things sometimes, it's half a kilometre, and that's quite a long way for me to walk. And then, so it's half a kilometre there, half a kilometre back. And at Bradford, the closest I can park to where I need to be is 600 or 700 metres from where I need to be. So that's an even further to walk. So it's much more difficult for me to go to Bradford. So I do struggle with that. This summer, whilst everybody has said the summer has been fantastic, I've hated every minute of it because I'm massively heat sensitive. So as the heat rises, and it only takes a very small core temperature rise for me to be affected, my wobbles and instability get much worse. So any rise in temperature can be quite dramatic and have quite dramatic effects on me. Now, whilst the summer everybody's been, oh, it's lovely sunshine, my office got to over 29 degrees, which meant I wasn't thinking straight, never mind walking and talking properly. So I approached my manager and said, I can't cope with this. So they moved me lock, stock, barrel, computer, desk, everything into a corner of the laboratory where it was air conditioned, where everybody was whinging it was cold, and I was going, it's marvellous, I'm cold, it's great. And my physicality returned to where it would normally be. So that was an amazing experience. I've now moved back into an office, but because it's colder outside, it's not so bad for me, although it's still 25, 26 degrees sometimes, but it's not as bad. My boss is fantastic with all of my difficulties. She offers me elbows to hold when I need to walk longer distances. She drives often to Bradford if we're both going over. She'll drop me at the door, and then she'll go and park and come back. And we're about to start the Access to Work process for getting me a little mobility scooter that I can put in the car and then zip around corridors with Bonacea wheels and tassels on the handlebars and a cracking helmet and a biker jacket. I think that's what we're going to go for. Go for a look. So that's kind of my story really. So it's really only the last, since 2011 that I've been getting worse, where I had to give up doing triathlons and lots of other things I've had to give up over time. The lecture theatre I find quite difficult because there isn't any handrails to hold on to as you're going up the quite precipitous steps to get to a seat. So it would be quite nice if there was a handrail here and there. And it's things that completely able-bodied people don't think about. I didn't think about it when I was completely able-bodied, and it's not really until you start losing your physicality that you actually really realise how much of an impact it can have and how terrifying a set of stairs can be. When you're stood at the top and you're looking down this stair, simple things like little handrails or grab rails or things just to steady people on corridors and in toilets and things. Don't always just put those things in the disabled toilets, because I don't want to go into a disabled toilet when there is somebody that needs the extra space with a wheelchair, but sometimes it's nice to have a grab rail to hang on to near the toilet itself or near the hand basins or something. So it's not just people with wheelchairs that need some consideration about hanging on to things. you do have to have a very good support mechanism outside of the hospital as well as at work. And I think having a support mechanism outside of work really helps you to have the confidence to ask within work. So I would say if you're really struggling, speak to friends and family initially first, and then that will give you the confidence that actually you can do this and you can discuss your difficulties with other people, and those other people can be your boss, because ultimately your boss is just a person and a human being the same as you are, and we're all in the NHS and supposed to be empathic to other people, and you know, caring is at the core of what the NHS does. So we need to kind of encourage staff to know that includes them as well, not just patients or visitors or other people that engage with the service, but it does include the staff. And to ask, if you're really struggling, ask. And the more I've opened up to people and said to them, actually I've got MS and I could really do with there, or I could really do with, oh, it would be really lovely if you could. And when I first started here, I was encouraged to write a little "this is me, hello," put it on the wall in the lab, and said basically corridor meetings are out of the question, I need to sit down, you know, don't collar me in a corridor and say, oh, can I just have 5 minutes? No, you can't just have 5 minutes, because I can't stand up for 5 minutes. If you want to come and see me for you've got a problem, then come to me in my office, or send me an email and arrange, you know, just check if I'm there, phone me. Parking has been fantastic here. When I very first started, there was lots of discussions involving Mark, my deputy MD, my line manager, and what is now AGH Solutions, I guess, are running parking, about where I could park and what I was capable of doing and where I could think. So we eventually settled on a car parking space that has been almost protected for me. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes people sneak into it, and then I have to park out the back of the mortuary and come in the back way to pathology. But that's been fantastic, because there's absolutely no way on this earth I could park in the staff car park, which is P3, is it? The staff car, there's just no way. I mean, I do lots and lots of other things outside of work. I still swim, I go to the gym, I do Pilates, I do swim outside most of the year still, if I can get to somewhere open water. I do a little bit of modelling, so I do lots of things outside of work, but coming to work is great, and I do love my job. I'd hate to think that I'd have to